on the loss on the lawyering side.
So Freeze is right. So depending on where you are, you'll have a county prosecutor, you could have a city prosecutor, you could have a district attorney, whatever the case may be. But those offices are made up of assistant prosecuting attorneys. And those individuals are by and large who usually brings forward those cases and tries those cases. So for instance, to his point, right? Kim Worthy is the prosecuting attorney for Wayne County, but probably more likely than not, you won't see her handling a murder trial, or she won't be in civil court handling a complex civil litigation. She hires assistant prosecutors that are assigned to different divisions that navigate that. So the gentleman in this Rittenhouse case was likely a part of the Kenosha, Wisconsin division of whatever, the criminal division, and he was assigned that case by whoever the head prosecutor is, more likely than not. No different than the other young lady who did a really fantastic job in the Aubrey trial.
Oh yeah.
She was an assistant prosecuting attorney, but there is a deputy. Sometimes they're appointed, sometimes they're elected. In Michigan, we elect our prosecuting attorneys.
Right. So what I am saying though is, and you all tell me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm getting your argument incorrect too, Freeze, is that what I understood you to be saying was that even though there was a prosecuting attorney, they could have booted that prosecuting attorney and hired Jeffrey Feiger. Even though I know Jeffrey Feiger is a defense attorney, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying they and the point that I was trying to make was the prosecuting attorney or the assistant prosecuting attorney would be the lead. Doesn't mean they can't have anybody on their staff. Like they could have had you had Marsha Clark and Jeffrey Darden. Like Marsha Clark was the prosecutor, right? And Jeffrey Darden was the assistant.
Mm-hmm. Right. And let me tell you what happened in that situation. I'm glad you brought that up. Jeffrey Darden was not Christopher Darden, Gerald.
Christopher, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Christopher
Darden did not want that case. They put him on that case with Marsha Clark.
Well, because he was black.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's what they said. That's why I was saying that if it was a high profile case, they're going to put who's the better person to make that case go. That's what I was saying. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying for a high society. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So if a high society person like Chris Darden, the case came to him first. Marsha Clark took it. And then the prosecutor, they were like, look, you need Christopher Darden on your team to make this case work. And that's when she went and got Christopher Darden to do it. I'm telling you, G, your boy ain't gonna say no shit unless he know.
I wasn't saying that. I didn't say that.
So to that point, right? So Marsha Clark, Chris Darden, those were the prosecuting attorneys on that case. But the DA that ran that office, remember, was Gil Garcetti.
Yep.
So he was the LA County District Attorney, and they were just assistant prosecuting attorneys that ran that case, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
So, but there could be instances in which you see in the Ahmaud Arbery case, because they had to move it so many times to different places because people had to recuse themselves, that you ended up with an assistant prosecuting attorney in Atlanta. I think that's where the case landed.
Oh, wow.
It ended up before a jury in Atlanta because there was so much fuckery with this case, and we'll explore that the person that ended up trying this case as the prosecutor wasn't even from where this incident happened, because they had to move the case so many times.
Where that was, yeah. I can't wait to get to that part.
Yeah, it was extreme amount of fuckery in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Yeah. Extreme amount. So I think here's the segue to that. So you have in this little town, I imagine it's some southern town, and it's literally like many of our towns, and we have it in Michigan. It's literally white and black separated by a roadway.
Yeah.
And he's a runner, Ahmaud's a runner, and he runs and he crosses over into the white side of town and starts to run and runs over there and must frequent the area because there's a house that's being built. And throughout his runs, he would go in and look in the house, and maybe he was just checking out the progress of the house. I don't know. but there's cameras in the house. He's never taking anything out of the house, but he goes in the house, he looks around the house, and then he finishes his run. He's not the only person that goes in, right? So during the trial, they show these different cameras where you have couples walking in the house, looking around, neighbors going in the house, looking around, kids playing around the house. So there's all this activity around the house. For whatever reason, the owner of the house thought that something was stolen from the house. I can't remember what that something was, but he later determined that it wasn't stolen from the house.
What could be stolen from a house that's being constructed? What, he took a piece of plywood? What the fuck, a 2x4?
Yeah, it was something maybe that he left it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he alleged that something was stolen. And he later determined that it wasn't stolen. It was actually, down at his boat, if I'm not mistaken. And so he would call the police, and the dispatch said, well, have your neighbors look out for you for the house. Maybe he communicated that, maybe he didn't. I don't remember. But the McMichaels became like these neighborhood vigilantes because they were saying all this stuff was getting stolen in our neighborhood and we were going to stop these robbers. When in reality, they hadn't had, anything stolen for months, right? There was something that happened in like January, February, and then nothing again for quite some time. Mm-hmm. So Ahmaud's running again. He again goes into the house. He looks around. Maybe he looks at the progress. He starts off on his run again. The father sees him coming out and he says, that's the kid who we think is breaking into houses, grabs his gun and gets his son and tells his son, come with me, we got him. And they jump on the quintessential pickup truck and start riding through the neighborhood to go find him. For whatever reason, and unbeknownst to me, the other neighbor sees them, because I for the longest couldn't figure out why they charged him with murder too, until I watched and got a better understanding of the trial. Mm-hmm. He sees the son and father riding down the street behind his kid, screaming at him with their guns out. He then jumps in his truck and runs too.
Yeah, that'd be so William Rhodey. William Rhodey Bryan.
Yep. So Rhodey Bryan jumps in his truck. So essentially what they do is the way that the community is set up, he's almost landlocked. Like he doesn't have a way out because they have him sort of pinned between these vehicles. And that's how they end up charging the third guy. Because it's like, had you just not been in the way, he would have had a different way out, right?
Right.
So then that's just the start of the story, right? So you get there and the dad used to be a chief investigator for the DA, right? Mm-hmm. So the same thing as we would have Kim Worthy if you're talking about Wayne County, or Karen McDonald if you're talking about Oakland County. Mm-hmm. He is like, I was the chief investigator. So the police immediately give him gratitude, immediately stop treating this like a potential homicide investigation and begin to give him grace and actually takes a step back. And then shit goes haywire from there because there are no charges brought for months. But his mother, who was very much like, no, this doesn't make sense, because the story was he was breaking into the houses and they tried to apprehend him doing a quote unquote citizen's arrest, and he resisted. And during the resistance, he tried to attack the son and the son shot him.
Right.
That's the story.
Yeah.
That cell phone video.
Shit. Now, Dandridge, real quick. So we're accurate. So the trial was held in Brunswick, Georgia, though. They didn't. Now, maybe the prosecutor, Linda Danakowski, maybe she is from Atlanta, but the trial was actually held in Brunswick.
Yes, they had to get a DA from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, but I listen, that video says a lot, but we've seen videos before which were, said a whole lot, right? And people got off. So that's why video evidence in amongst itself was not enough to make and I'm not going to even just say black people, but video evidence in amongst itself was not enough to make people believe that a guilty verdict would come. Now, excuse me, to your point, Dandridge, I think via appeal, and I could be wrong, but it would not shock me at all if William Rhodey Bryan, if he wasn't completely exonerated or if he didn't get definitely a reduced sentence, because like you said, if he hadn't have been there, like his dumb ass, if he hadn't have been there, he would have been fine. But he's gonna argue like I was taping it for that exact reason, because I was concerned, and then I didn't pull a trigger at all, right? Yeah. And I think when it's all said and done, I could be way off base on that, but I don't think that his conviction is gonna stand. But we shall see.
So the video was really interesting, right?
I would say you all get charged. It doesn't matter. Like if you stole something, I'm riding with you. We all stole something. You know what I'm saying?
But if I stole something and you driving behind me, totally different story.
No, but I'm saying that's not but that's an assist though. I'm talking about in the murder, that's an assist. Even though he didn't put the trigger.
What I'm saying is, if you stole something from the store and you pull out and leave the store,
but I'm saying theft. We talking about theft and killing. I'm just saying.
I got it, but I'm still saying that he got in his truck, following them as they followed him, as they followed my man. Now they end up getting in a scuffle in front of him, and the dude shoots him.
Don't say, but he shouldn't have been there. You know what I'm saying? You know what our parents used to say all the time?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you, I don't think that I could be way off base. I'm not saying that he didn't play a role in it. I'm saying I don't think when all this goes to appeal, it wouldn't shock me. Let me not say I don't think. It wouldn't shock me if his conviction was not overturned or drastically reduced. That's all.
So again, what they're alleging he did, right? And so here's the irony about this. No one had this video until so let's go back. The original DA on this case was the Jackie Johnson lady, right? Mm-hmm. She had decided that these men shouldn't be charged. Yep. Nope, not gonna charge them. Nothing to see here. Sad case. Sorry for Ahmaud's family. God bless and good night. Right. The third guy thinks that, right, oh, it's over. And for whatever, I don't know why he did this. He and his lawyer released the video. Right. That's how it comes out. So now the video, he has the video, but also, to be honest, the prosecutor had the video from that night too, because they asked him at the scene, he said, yeah, I recorded it. So the prosecutor had the video. We just didn't know that the video existed. Right. So it was once they released the video that she was like, okay, shit, now they know we got the video. We got to do something about it. But then obviously they transfer it she makes a recommendation to transfer it to the county DA next to her. And I don't know what county that is, but never tells anyone that she had already talked to him about the case and already briefed him on her position on the case. So they just indicted her. Like, do you know how bad of a prosecutor you have to be to get fucking indicted for failing? Like, they just literally indicted her for obstruction of justice. So how allegedly racist are you that you're willing to put your job on the line to protect whiteness?
Yeah, I think you can drop allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have no insurance for people to sue me. So
yeah, that's a shame. How much pride you got?
I don't either, but I don't know if alleged is needed in that case.
I'm just saying, like, how fucked up do you have to be to put your career on the line to protect? It just doesn't make sense. Like, to protect whiteness, because that's all it was about. That's exactly all it was about. And you have it. And I don't know if I agree with you, G. I think that when you look at the evidence, obviously they only released the video that we have, but he for sure was using his car to detain and corner him.
Yep.
He was using it for that sole purpose. It wasn't like he was just following behind recording.
That's what he says, though. That's what he claims.
Yeah, but the video, his